Welcome to the show, ladies and gentlemen. I have with me today someone very important, my partner in life and crime, Miss Kim. Wie geht's?
Yeah, mir geht's sehr gut, but I don't think that many of the listeners could speak German, so I might just switch to English.
Well, I did offer to do this in German, even though it'd be a fairly short episode. But so, Kim, so the listeners can get a sense and connection to you, can you explain your background and why you've invested so much time into the coaching and the breathwork stuff that you've been studying?
So, background would be I haven't figured it out at all.
Perfect.
And as most times in life, challenges or things that happen to you that are life-changing are like a catalyst for growth. And this is what happened to me as well.
Mm-hmm.
It was a time when I just went through a huge change. I need to move, I need to change jobs, relationship fell apart, and I just need to reinvent myself. And
So this was Germany?
no, that was 4 years ago now.
So you've been in Australia for 10 years?
I've been in Australia for 10 years,
Yes,
yeah.
you're welcome. So what was the catalyst coming to Australia?
Okay, let's start from there. So I was actually never planning on staying in Australia. I just booked flights thinking I would do work and travel and kind of never left.
You booked one way?
No, I booked a return ticket as well, but then 6 months later it just felt like it didn't feel right to go back home.
Yeah.
And it was the first time in my life where I didn't plan anything. I just went with the flow and followed intuition. And looking back now, I realized how, that was a big thing for me. Like coming from Germany, everything is structured and planned, at least in my world, to make there, to coming to Australia and just going with the flow, living the Aussie lifestyle, I guess. And then 6 months later, I didn't take the return flight. Did do my farm work to stay in Australia. So you come to Australia on a work and travel visa, and then you have the chance to work 88 days on a farm. I don't know who made that rule out. A genius.
But that's working days. not
That's
just
working
88.
days. Yeah. So the days that you're off or when it's raining on the farm, then they're not counted. No. So I did do that, extended my stay, and then that was this year. It's been 10 years. On the 4th of July, I landed. 2016. And I think I was a very different person then, and especially in the last 4 years, it's just another completely identity that I took on. I feel like this is also, in my opinion, the purpose of life, to grow. And especially in the last 4 years, I could definitely see a change. And life didn't put me into a situation anymore. I was taking accountability and took the lead from there and just looked at how much can I push myself. This is, I guess, the background. Coming to Australia, and then even in a different country, the same patterns occurred. So it's not just Germany. And I'd ask myself the question, why did I come to Australia in the first place? Did I run away from something that was coming up in Germany over and over again? And it just kept happening here in Australia. So it was like, there's no more excuse. I just need to do something about it. And this is when I then found breathwork. Or breathwork found me. And this is how it all started.
When was that?
So breathwork happened beginning of 2023.
What drew you to that?
So actually 3 years ago. But 4 years ago is when it was the initiation first. And I was a little bit lost, but I think you need to be lost to just find yourself. So in that moment when I was lost, I remember I made the decision at a very low point on New Year's Eve. I wrote a little letter to myself. This is what I want to keep for the next year. And it was about deep connections, no more superficial connections. I just really wanted to go deep and attract a completely different circle of friends and people in my life. And then what do I want to let go? So I wrote that down. And I remember on New Year's, I was then burning it. And that was a pivotal moment. And after that, I said no to anything that was superficial, and I was going on, I guess, on socials and tried to find situations or events that could just bring me out of my comfort zone and get me into a different space or meet different people. So I was making a conscious decision, and then I was following up on it on a daily basis. It's not just that one moment that changed everything. It's an everyday decision that I made. And then, yeah, randomly, or not randomly, nothing is random, I guess. I got this ad on social media for an ice bath event. So I was like, okay, this is sort of my comfort zone. And my narrative was, I'm not good with a cold. And then I saw that, and I'm like, oh, there's some potential. Again, it was this intuitive moment, like coming to Australia and just staying. I just need to go through it anyway. It's just like this comfort zone it's there, just like right now doing a podcast with you. It is here, but it's just pushing through it. It's choosing the battle that I want to. It's, again, taking accountability of what I want to learn instead of life throwing me into something that I didn't see coming, I guess. So I saw that, signed up for it, and went, and it was a 3-hour event, and didn't think much about the 3 hours. Went there, and obviously in an ice bath, you're only going in for 2 minutes max, at least at that event, and I would always say max 2 minutes if you're doing it for the first time, not less, but 2 minutes. And yeah, leading up to it, we did breathwork, and I had no idea what it was. And I was always, I would say, struggling with meditation. I was struggling with lying down, and I was really struggling with this concept of not thinking. And just lying down, not thinking, made me think even more. So in breathwork, that was the first time, and it was not just this, I mean, breathwork is a spectrum, but it was not just this box breathing and calm, it was actually quite elevating. It changed my biochemistry a little, so I felt like parts of my brain, I would always almost say, were switching off. That gave me the freedom to just be and be very present. And that was even more, I guess, revealing where I'm at in my journey, or more of a turning point than the actual ice bath 2 hours later. Because that was an experience to really go deep for the first time that I haven't done before. And then the ice bath on top, obviously I got some dopamine and went home and was like, yay. My life is changing. I went through my comfort zones, pushed through it. I was, feeling euphoric from, I guess, the body reaction to the ice bath, but also just doing something sort of my comfort zone by myself, actually meeting new people at that time as well. And then, from there, I just couldn't stop exploring what else is out there. What can I do that's out of my comfort zone? Because once you push through the discomfort, there's so much, it's like a gift afterwards. You don't see it yet, but it's like you're climbing a wall, and you can finally see on the other side, and you can see that green grass and that castle that you didn't see beforehand. And it was like, well, what else is there? I want to explore more of that green grass and the castle.
Just like Joseph Campbell said, the cave you fear to enter most holds the treasure you seek. You were just cave diving down.
Yeah, and I guess that just, I when I go for something, I go like a bull towards the goal. So I couldn't stop, and I just signed up for more and more.
Full German focus.
Full German focus, I just tried to be very efficient at that time. But I feel like there's another trap once you discover personal development, and you go all in and you think you need to do more and more and more, because you finally become healed, but you never become healed. So this is, it's a different chapter of that journey, but then I just went into this, I'm broken and I need to be healed more and more, let's go more. But I enjoyed every step of the way.
So you're all healed?
Of course. More healed than you. No, I think that's the purpose of life.
Classic German sense of humor. Now, we've had some interesting chats about breathing. From my end, breathing from a weightlifting and mechanics viewpoint, you go into deeper physiological responses. What did that do for you personally?
Yes. So in the question before, I mentioned that in that ice bath event, we went really deep. And what that means is I was breathing a lot faster than usual. And my physiology, okay, the German is coming out. My body's response, I think we are all there. Don't cut it out.
It's fine, yeah.
My body's response was that, again, there was a certain biochemistry that changed. As much as you use your breath for weightlifting, I used my breath to change how my brain, I guess, is reacting to my body, the brain connection. So in breathwork, we usually say there's a spectrum, right? So you would have used a certain type of breathwork to get you to a certain point. So you used your breath to achieve a certain outcome. When I look at breathwork, again, there's this Wim Hof method that has a certain outcome, but then many people know already box breathing and the slower breathing forms of what I really like to do is 5 seconds in and 5 seconds out. That's actually the ideal breath.
So
that's without break and 5 seconds. Actually, 5.5 is the ideal breath, but just to make it easier for us now.
That's the German breath. 5.75 1 second.
Yes.
Through the nose, through the mouth?
Through the nose. So this is down regulating. Usually anything that you want to have to calm your nervous system is through the nose. We don't want to use our mouth. There's too much oxygen that comes into our body or into our lungs through the mouth. So we want to just use the nose. So again, and out. And that, I would say, after waking up for 5 minutes at lunchtime and at night, and it will make a huge difference in your life. It's called coherence breathing. So I would usually do this when I go through the whole spectrum of breath in the breathwork group workshops. I would use that in the end for people to come back.
So it's a very grounding breath.
Very grounding, yes.
Yep.
Calming down, right? Because on the other side of the spectrum is the fast breathing. Fast breathing can be done through the nose and through the mouth. The fastest way, I would say, is go all in and through the mouth, in and out through the mouth. I wouldn't do it like a dog right now, like you just did. I would, in breathwork workshops that I would facilitate, I would go through a certain rhythm and together with music, and that makes a huge difference. So you stick with a certain rhythm. I wouldn't go to this fast breathing straight away unless you want to really push yourself.
I'm just hardcore.
It's just, I know. So you don't want to go there too fast, and it should be in an environment where you feel safe. We don't want, because it can be quite, I would say it is there for a certain reason, and we don't want to abuse it. When you're running with an open mouth, yes, it can get you to certain levels. You can run faster maybe for a certain time, but then it can also drain your energy quite fast.
It's also rhythmic.
Rhythmic, yeah.
Which sets up the physiology.
Correct. So what I would do in one of my sessions would be, first, I would explain what could happen in the body. So people could anticipate that you feel tension in your hands. Like it would be like your hands are cramping up.
So
that's
hand, neck, shoulder, depending on the person.
Yeah, mostly the hands. The extremities would just cramp first. Not too much the feet, at least not in my case. And most of the participants just mentioned the hands. That's the main thing. You would then also, I guess, get out of your mind. So there's certain, and then people would feel like, oh God, what is this? And people, just like me in the beginning, I felt like, oh, I'm out of control. What's going on? And then I felt unsafe. But then once it's led in a group environment, there would be facilitators like me would go around and would make sure everything is all right. And your body knows when it's too much. You can't, there's basically no danger. You're still in control. So then I would explain what the body would go through, how you breathe into your belly and all of that stuff. And then we would go into the session, which is usually an hour. And then I would go through the whole spectrum. I would start very slow. We always say pick people up where they're at.
Yeah.
And if I imagine someone would come to a workshop, they would just arrive. Maybe they're a little bit late because they were switching parking. They would arrive there. They just need grounding. So this is why we have like half an hour of just explaining what's going on. So they're already familiar with the space.
Just gets them in the room mentally. Yeah.
Yes, they can go to the bathroom. And then we usually start slow, but then I accelerate it. I always call it the ladder. That's how I like to start. So it's first you're just closing your eyes and you're breathing slowly, and then it goes faster and faster. And I usually start with the nose and then later on transition into mouth breathing. And that would go on for the actual breath work, which is work. Might feel a little bit draining as well, especially when it's through the mouth. Your mouth could feel dry, and it's all part of the process. So all of that would then trigger certain, it's a different balance of O2 and CO2 in your body, which triggers a different response of your body, or biochemistry would change. So your brain would react a little bit differently than usual. I usually say the part of the brain that was the most modern part of the brain would switch off first. And that sounds dangerous, but that is what I tried to say earlier. It's the most relaxing part about it. The logical thinking, the monkey brain will switch off, and you will just go into, you allow yourself to come up whatever needs to come up. It's quite, it can be sleeping, can be screaming, it can be crying, it can be nothing. So every session is also different. And that's, I think, the beauty of it. So coming back to the question, I use breathwork in many different ways. So for workshops to help other people, I go to workshops myself to just, sometimes when I feel anxious and there's certain things that I don't know where they're coming from, a certain anxiety, I go to a breathwork workshop, and usually some stored emotions would come up and I would feel better afterwards. Or I'm at a dentist and I'm scared of the dentist.
That happened, didn't it?
And I want to calm myself down. Then I would breathe in through the nose, because that's the only thing you can do when you're sitting at the dentist. For 4 seconds. And then you could do box breathing, which is then a break of 4 seconds after the inhale and the exhale. Or something I would usually do is, even in an ice bath as well, I would breathe in for 4 seconds. Then hold at the top for 4 seconds. And then breathe out for as long as you can. Usually with pursed lips, as if you want to blow out a candle. And that just changes my focus away from, he's just going to inject some kind of stuff in my tooth. Or he's cleaning my tooth and this screechy noise is coming up that I don't like. So it will distract me from that. And because I'm breathing a lot slower, my brain automatically thinks, oh, I'm not in danger anymore. I can actually relax. And it's like a physiologically, again, that word is not my friend today. My body would react to it and think, it's my easy way out. That I'm safe, and it would calm itself down.
Yeah, because you're shifting blood around the brain, so you're activating and stimulating different parts, and your focus would shift. As you go from that, if you're hearing scraping of a tooth, then you change your breath. You might shift from running from a lion to wanting to fall asleep, or to thinking about what my left arm's doing or something.
Yeah. Or even before going to bed, exactly that. Then before breathwork, I was like, I'm stuck. I don't know what to do. And I would just be stuck in that state. Whereas now, okay, I know what's going on. I can breathe myself out of it. And sometimes it actually is flying. Actually flying for me is very uncomfortable when we are actually landing. This is where I'm like, okay, all the horror movies come back into my mind right now. And then I think it took me 10 minutes that one time to calm down, but it worked. Then I was actually calm. And every time it came up again, kind of gives me this power back. Someone like me who is still identifying what this whole control theme is in my life makes me feel quite in control in those moments. So it gives me this ease when I feel out of control. For example, ice bath, dentist, flying. So it really helps internally to regain that illusion of control, I guess.
Well, we can control our breath, right?
Yes.
In any situation, if we're consciously aware of it.
Yeah.
But most people live in survival mode, so their default is to do the shallow breathing. But some people do the shallow breathing all day, every day.
Yeah. And if you're not aware, like me beforehand, then they're not aware how easily you can change it as well, or that that's even an issue. Like if you don't know what you don't know.
Yeah, I mean, most people don't know how stressed they actually are, but then they go to a breathwork event, do the shallow breathing, and they hyperventilate themselves into a panic attack. But if that's true, the opposite must also be true. So you can get out of it with the same mechanism.
And to share something on top of this as well, to what I've mentioned earlier, life is always about growing and getting challenged. And funnily enough, even me, I rediscover more and more things about me breathing, or how I could improve my breathing, even as a breathwork coach. So nothing is, I can't say I'm a breathwork coach, I'm now perfect. That's not how it is.
That's not what you told me before.
Yeah, so in what I've learned through coaching as well is your highest values will determine your life. And one of my highest values is breathwork and health. So life will keep throwing things at me so I can go deeper and learn more, which is actually, because sometimes I get lost in so much shame. Oh, I should know it better. I've done all this work on myself. I've done breathwork. I now need to be that person that is running a marathon only nasal breathing. Until I realized I'm not. So it's just life keeps pushing me, so I learn more about the body and learn more about breathing so I can actually teach it to others. That's just something that I wanted to add to this, which is, it's a never-ending journey.
It doesn't really help when you're trying to learn German, though. I'm just going to put...
Even I still learn German words every now and then, especially after 10 years here.
That makes me feel better.
Yeah.
That makes me feel better. So a little segue. I know you've been studying the DeMartini Method for a number of years now. Can you explain what that method is about and what it is about that method that resonates with you?
So the DeMartini Method is basically just a tool to reshape your perception. So it gives you questions that you would usually not ask yourself. So when I then was in a good position with breathwork, when I say good position, it means I facilitated breathwork event and I felt like, okay, where to from here? Like breathwork alone for me was never the path. I felt like there was something missing in the process. So then I discovered more the mindset work, which is the DeMartini Method by John DeMartini. And that's basically questions, high valuable questions you ask yourself or a facilitator asks you to change your perception. What does that mean? Everyone, I think most of the listeners would know from your podcast, have stories and filters. You can't process all the information that it is right now in this room. If I'm sitting here, I'm unaware that might be a spider on the wall.
There's not. We're good.
Okay, good. Or that you would be unaware what time it is right now, because you're not really looking at the clock. But our subconscious mind, you might even still look at the clock through the mirror, and it would be stored somewhere in your subconscious. And right now, but your focus is on the conversation with me. So this is important to you, so you filter. High focus on what we're saying. So filters and stories, right? So this is how we go through life. And the method is a tool for me to go back to what time was it? Go back to the clock. What did the clock actually say? What was in my surrounding? What was the spider looking at me? This is just a simple example right now, but it's changing your perception of things. So once I see a situation, name it bad or wrong, in a different light, is it still bad or wrong? Because I see the full picture. The only reason why I see a situation as bad or wrong is because I have more drawbacks. I see more drawbacks to a certain situation than benefits. Once I actually become aware that nothing's ever missing and everything is just in balance, I come to a state of gratitude. So that's basically, I would say, the goal. Goal seems very ambitious, like the German back, but this is basically where we want to go. And this has helped me a lot with why did that happen to me? I'm so glad it happened, and I can see why.
Yeah, it's interesting because when we go through something, especially if it's a shock, then we automatically go to our default setting in the unconscious, where you're listening to me consciously, probably, but you're not thinking of your 10th birthday.
Yeah,
that's in the unconscious. But then, if you can't deal with it in that moment consciously, because your brain will just too much, sort of shut down. Some people will actually faint, but some people psychologically will go back into their default setting, which is their programmed beliefs, which is usually set up by mum, dad, religion, etc. And that's where they'll perceive it from. So with the DeMartini, it's showing you the other side of the coin. And there's other things in the room, and there was other people at the birthday, and people at the birthday were having their own experiences with through their belief filter, etc. So when you first explain it to me, it's like it trains you to not take everything so personally.
Correct, yeah. And something that just came to me is, usually on socials, I would look at a certain phrase. Everything happens for a reason, right? So it's there. But in the moment when when your mom forgets your birthday, like in my case, my mom forgot my birthday, did I think, oh, everything happens for a reason? No. And even if I did, I don't know what to do with that. So the method actually, or that tool, that perception reframing, helped me to step away from that feeling. Actually, once you balance everything, the feeling will disappear. So it gives you not just this is how it should be, but also how can you get there, like a way, a path to see it, instead of just a random quote on Instagram. We all know gratitude and love is the end goal, but how do we get there? So that's the beauty of it.
Well, I think love is all inclusive, right?
But we don't see it.
No. So if that's the answer, then we need more information.
Correct.
As you were saying, we need more. We need to know that everything is doing its own little dance through this space-time nexus. But if we take everything personally, then everything's an attack.
Exactly, yeah. And this is where so many people get stuck. I was there as well. It's nothing. There's also benefits of feeling attacked. Nothing is ever missing, right? So even there, you might be resonating with your friends more because they are in the same field, or in the they're resonating with that because they're on the same path in their journey in life. So you resonate with other people, because what happens is, since I've started this journey, my friendship circle changed completely.
Well, ever since I've known you, it's changed a bit.
So the more I change myself, the less I resonate with what I have used to resonate with. So it's an interesting journey. Again, upsides to that as well, but it's just, it's a beautiful method just to look at it from a different angle.
Well, I mean, you've been here 10 years now. So then since I've known you, there's been a stress or two along the way. But how have implementing these practices in your own life, how have they helped you stay grounded and centered?
So obviously 10 years, we talked about it in the beginning. They were not my native language. So
there's
physiological word.
There's some words, there's language, culture, whole visa thing.
Visa, yeah. You know all about it.
Yeah. friendships, etc. So what's your, I don't want to say go-to, but what's your process?
It depends on the situation. As an example that just came to my mind is I feel a lot of guilt for being here while my family's in Germany and they're getting older every time I go back. And I feel guilty for many different reasons, right? So whenever I feel guilty, I feel I do, there are more downside of my actions to someone else than upside. So I feel like my poor dad. So something I do then is, okay, how does it help my dad that I'm here? Would it help him if I'm right now back in Hanover in Germany? How would that look like? Would I be happy? No. Would that help him if I'm not happy in Germany right now? No. So I would go more and more until I see that clearly. So that's the perception reframing. On the other hand side, I would then, if I feel very anxious, again, I would do the breathwork that I've mentioned before, or go to breathwork events. If, for example, recently something happened where I've lost a friend. How do I stay grounded? There are many ways. I have weekly sessions with my coaches as well to go through that. I have breathwork, and this is what I'm using at the moment a lot. So just to keep myself grounded back. And again, also the basics of going out to nature, going camping with you, and just go and look what my body does in this situation, right? Like even when you're helping me on a body level, that helps me as well a lot to ground. So
how about the weight training? How's that going?
The weight training, actually, that helps a lot with my posture. So thank you. Advertisement for it, Matt. No, it did help me a lot with my, so I clench my jaw at night a lot. I'm grinding my teeth. There are many reasons for it, but one of them was posture. If I say was, because it's getting a lot better recently since we started the exercises. Which
has only been January.
Yeah. I was surprised how fast it actually worked, because I went to chiropractors before that showed me certain exercises and they didn't work. I lost trust that could actually work. But that's another one. Like it's always very complex, right? So breathwork, perception, reframing, that's the mind, and then the body, anything else, and how the stress actually externalizes through my body is then working with you and doing the weightlifting for my posture. Yeah, all of that together.
Just for the Czech students, just did a level 1 assessment and basic spinal curves, pelvic tilt. I can't remember what the numbers were.
Not good.
Oh, they weren't. I mean, I said a lot worse, but they're not. They weren't ideal. But yeah, I think you were.
You still love me, right? Even though I was.
You were in the green. Better now. It's. I think there's 6 measurements, and I think now 4 out of the 6 are in the green. I think.
Yeah.
So
I can see it in my own posture, right? So before, my ribs were sticking out a little bit from tilting forward. And now it's like the first time in 10, 15 years that everything seems more aligned, and I just feel more welcome in my body. So
basically what you're saying to me and the audience is that I've saved your life. So next question.
Yes.
No need to comment. We all know. Saunas.
Yes.
We were in Germany. We went to a sauna place called, what's it called again?
Bali Therma.
Bali Therma, which means Bali theme. I know words. Now, for me, it was a bit of a new experience because the sauna culture there, everyone is naked.
I'm glad you're pointing out that part first.
Well, it was because I've told people that, and everyone says, I couldn't do that. Every single person has said that. Every single one. So I don't think Australia is quite ready for that. But it was certainly
Yes.
an interesting experience for me. But then I learned from you about the sauna culture and how it's not just sitting and looking at everyone. It's got nothing to do with that. In fact, we might as well have been invisible there. It's so normal. So where I'm going with this is that the sauna culture here is very different. And since coming back, I feel like where we went to a sauna place once, and I think we were both sort of, is this it? Type
Yes.
thing. So to get to the full potential of saunas, what are your thoughts on what us Australians need to do besides get naked?
So first, what came to my mind was, just another story, right? I am naked in front of others. That is weird. As soon as we went, so it was, if you want to imagine that place, it was like a big indoor pool. And then there's a separate section to the sauna area where you need to pay extra, obviously. And then there's a gate. As soon as you cross the gate, you are the weird one if you're wearing clothes. So it's kind of like the gate to allowing yourself to feel, to accept your body the way it is without shame. There are certain thoughts that come up every now and then, even in my head of being in Australia for that long. Ooh, I'm naked right now. I'm jumping into this pool. However, if you would jump into that pool with everyone around you being naked, that's then weird again. So you just have this brief moments of like, oh, what is this? Ah, yeah, it's all good. So I always went back to that. So it's kind of like coming back to changing the narrative again. So there's no judgment on either side. It's just a different culture. So I would describe the sauna culture, besides the acceptance of nudity, to also a quiet place or a lot of, like, you go into sauna, you don't talk. In Australia, it's more, it's a place where you socialize without your phone. Actually,
well, here you go to a sauna, you socialize, there's a bar there most of the time. Where in Germany, I notice it's almost sacred. Like, you go there, it's just quiet, little talking.
Yeah.
You go there for you and your time. It's like an actual thing.
Correct. And I would say it's more common to have a little mini sauna here in Australia as well. It's like a mini luxury or luxurious accessory. This is challenging my English today. And socializing on one side compared to a health and wellness event that can last up to a day, where you go rounds and rounds into a sauna and you sit there in silence.
Were there 10 saunas?
Oh, it's probably 30 or something like that.
No, I mean the place we went to.
The body one?
Yeah.
Yes.
30?
Altogether 30, yeah. I think so. We could only explore
Went there for a bit.
some of them.
Yeah.
So it's just a different culture. How could we bring this over here? Yeah, that's a really good question. So we would need to prepare for a change of narrative, right? Like a change of a story. I would not go, let's say we had this plan or the dream, a vision of building our own sauna place or our own body therapy here in Australia. I would not go from 1 to 100 and say we all need to be naked and just enforce the culture from Germany to the Australian culture. But there could be glimpses of that. Like a separate sauna where you can go in naked and then everyone's naked, phone is out, and you just sit there in silence and then see how you feel about it, or special events, or just embrace making it a full day and a full spa day, and rather than, so just kind of like combining them both and see how people adjust to it.
They also had I don't know if it was a cold bath or it was just a cold day. It was
you don't know in Germany that's...
No. I mean, it was September.
Yeah, it was
Certainly,
beginning of autumn.
Certainly cooling down. And it cools down a lot quicker there than here.
Yeah.
So it was certainly cold enough to know it wasn't like it would be here. But then that's me comparing it, isn't it?
Yes. Yeah, correct. And again, and kind of like bringing your Aussie sauna culture over there. Yeah, but I'm very I love this vision of just creating that space, bringing into, it's again like combining almost everything we've said before. I would love to bring in breathwork, changing the perception of, or reframing the stories on how sauna culture needs to be. To here, there's also another option, which brings in the perception reframing. Plus, there's actually something we both love, like the sauna in one place. So would combine everything in one. So that's a beautiful vision.
To be continued. Now, I know you've done a lot of coaching with coaches. So I know one thing many coaches do is they specialize in one specific area and kind of just leave it there. But we've spoken at large about how everything needs to be integrated, which is why I wanted to share what you're working on now. So can you share with everyone what you are working on? Go.
So there was an idea when I went through my own breathwork journey. So I had sessions where I had this eye-opener moment of I'm surrounding myself with these friends because I'm too afraid to be alone. I had this eye-opener and I cried. I released the emotion attached to it. And then I went home and I'm like, okay, and now? So that's the integration. And I hear from friends that would go and have an ayahuasca session or an eye-opener moment on psychedelics, or in breathwork as well. Participants would tell me, oh, that was great. And I've never seen or experienced this before. But how do you take it into day-to-day? And this is where the work begins. And I want to take what's coming up from breathwork sessions and help with the integration. And this is where the perception reframing comes into play. So I want to combine both the breathwork, and if someone like me would go through, oh, I'm holding on to this person in my life, and I'm just too afraid to be alone. What do I do with that? And then I would go, okay, why are you with that person at that time? I felt like without that person, I'm all alone. So I was scared of being alone. So then I was looking back at the traits that I admire most about that person and would balance it again. So I would go back to, okay, what are the downsides that this person is on my life? And if that person would actually leave, what would be the benefits actually? So I would already go into this nightmare situation and even balance that, and then make a more aligned decision whether I want to have this person in my life or not. And then this is then the integration. You can then change. You can make decisions on a daily basis then, not from a place of fear or scarcity, because the fear might still even be there, even though you had this eye-opener moment. The fear of losing these people might still be there. So once you realize, oh, I was just holding on to them because I was afraid to be alone, then I would say, okay, it's actually not as bad as I think when they're actually gone. And then on a day-to-day basis, make the decision whether, hey, I just say no to this event now. I don't want to go with you and have on a bender and just get drunk because I want to do something else right now. And either it's in my case, that's what happened. I said no and no and no. I just didn't feel, and this didn't come from, I've write it down and this is how I need to react. And this came from just a change I saw through my own behavior, and I just felt like, no, I just don't want to do it right now. And then it kind of naturally dissolved, the friendship dissolved, and that happened a lot. So this is my goal, to just guide people not through just the eye-opener moment and the euphoric moment of coming out of a session, no matter what it is, breathwork, and anything else, but then also integrate that. That's, I think, it's where I see a lack right now, and at least in the personal development courses and classes, they sell you the dream, breathwork. Oh, I've heard that. Breathwork, you do breathwork and you're healed, or breathwork releases all the trauma. Yes and no. It's still up to you to make a change in your life. It's all about your thoughts and how that changes your decisions and then your actions. So
it's really taking someone through your experience and how you've
Yes.
worked on yourself, and just want to share that.
Correct. Yeah, my journey, and I think I never really intended to be a facilitator or a coach. I actually need to coach myself to let go of the negative connotation about the word coach. There was never like my intention to do that. It happened naturally, and it felt right. Again, an intuitive pull to go more and more and deeper, and then I just wanted to share it.
I think you're doing really well.
Thank you very much.
So, Kim, feel free to share any final comments where people can find you and how/why I'm your favorite person. Well,
So you can find me on Instagram at the moment, or Facebook, and then via my Instagram account, which is Life Uplifted, or just Kim von Loewe. You can then see events, group events of breathwork. I'm working currently on an online breathwork event that is going to be huge. It's going to be with subliminals and affirmations and the beautiful recording I'm currently working on. I collaborate with a dear breathwork facilitator, Vanessa. And through that page as well, you can book one-on-ones. I'm currently really focusing on one-on-ones. And yeah, you can book through that. That's the easiest to get in touch with me. So Life Uplifted or Kim von Loewe, and then links.
and I can tell you, she's the real deal.
Oh, wait, the other question. Why are you my favorite person?
Oh, yeah.
What's the day? 348
What?
days that you're learning German
Today,
every day.
as of this right now, 349.
349 days of pure
Learning German.
commitment.
Yeah.
And the patience.
Tourette's, all the swear words,
Yeah.
all the banging.
You should learn the swear words in German. That's then even more fun.
Well, Gio hasn't come up with them.
Can show you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. I think that's pure commitment. And the patience in the beginning, I guess. I came into a relationship thinking, oh, I'm healed now. And I was surprise. And the patience you got with me in the beginning to overcome stories and patterns that I haven't worked on when I was single. And all this pride, oh, I know it better. And you kind of like had so much patience with that in the beginning. And without that, we wouldn't be here right now.
Basically, the Dalai Lama. No,
Yeah, saved my life again. Okay, cool. Thanks.
I like it. Continue if you want to keep going.
No, I think I'm good. I'm good.
Miss Kim, Dankeschön.
Thank you as well.
Und bis zum nächsten Mal.
Yes. See you later.
Tschüss.
You've been listening to the Body's Compass podcast with Matt Sorensen and today's guest, Kim von Loewe. Check out Kim's Instagram at Your Life Uplifted or her website at www.lifeuplifted.car.so. If you liked this week's episode, please consider giving us a 5-star rating and a warm review. Please share this episode with someone you think it might help. If you want to find out more, give us a follow on Instagram at The Body's Compass. Subscribe to Matt's YouTube at Matt Sorensen Live or swing by heelhub.net. Thanks for tuning in. Catch you next time.